Hi, this video is part 2 of the Microsoft Teams for Teachers series. In this video, we'll go over how to start the Teams meeting with your students, how to allow the students to join you in the meeting, and how to present to your students. So let's get started. We're going to start here in Schoology. That is how you and your students are going to launch the Microsoft Teams meeting. So you'll go ahead and navigate to your course, whether from the course dashboard or the courses dropdown. You'll go ahead and go into your course, and you will find that Microsoft Teams meeting link. Maybe it's here as an announcement, maybe it's posted here as a course material. One best practice I recommend is, as a teacher, you should plan on joining the meeting about 15 to 20 minutes before your students do. That gives you time to prepare your materials, share your screen, and admit students. So we're going to go ahead and click Join Microsoft Teams Meeting. Your students will do the same thing. And if you get a box like this, you can just click Open Microsoft Teams, and the Microsoft Teams app on your device should launch, and you can click Join Now. You can toggle on or off your webcam and on or off your microphone. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my microphone for now and click Join Now. Because I am the meeting organizer, I will be brought right into the meeting. While we're waiting for our students to join us, we might want to select a presentation to share. So I'm going to come into the Teams toolbar here, and I have some different tools. Here I can toggle on and off my webcam. I might want to toggle it on to welcome my students. I might want to toggle it off to save on some bandwidth. I can toggle on and off my microphone. Right now I'm muted, so my students are not able to hear me. And I can use this share button to share something on my device with my students. I'm going to go ahead and click share. And I have a couple different things that I could share. Here I could share my desktop, which would allow me to share an entire screen. This would be great if I'm modeling how to do something in Schoology or on a digital curriculum. If I wanted to share just a window, like for instance, I wanted to share something I was doing in Google Chrome, I could click on one of these items in Window. However, if I had a PowerPoint presentation that I wanted to share, I can see all the recent PowerPoints I edited right here in Teams, and I can go ahead and click on one of these to share these with my students. I'm going to go ahead and pick this PowerPoint to share with my students. And once this is loaded, anyone who comes into my class will see this. At this point, I'm prepared for my students. I've come in a little bit early, I've got my presentation material set up, so now I just wait for my students to join from the lobby. I have a notification that one of my students has joined the lobby. I can go ahead and admit them, or if I'd like to see the lobby and admit my students as they're coming in, I'll click View Lobby. And that will open up this participants pane on the side here, where I can see everyone who's currently in the meeting, and I can see everyone who's waiting to come into the meeting. If I want to allow somebody to come into the meeting, I just check the box next to their name, and they will be brought into the meeting, and they will see whatever I'm currently sharing with them. So I can see here now, student A is in my meeting as an attendee. That means that they can mute and unmute, they can comment on the chat, but they cannot share their screen. If I need to quickly change the settings of my meeting, I can do that. There's 3 dots here in this participants pane. I can click the 3 dots, and I can manage the permissions of this meeting. When I click on that, a new tab will open in my internet browser that will bring up the same meeting options I configured earlier. And I can make quick setting changes if I needed to. In this case, I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and minimize this to come back to my Teams meeting. I'm going to go ahead and close out this participants pane to start my presentation. If at any point I need to come back to this participants pane to let people in from the lobby, I can click Show Participants, and that pane comes right back up. I'm going to go ahead and close that out again. In addition to having my participant panel here, I have a few other options for communicating with my students while I'm presenting. There is a conversation area here where I can post a chat to my students and students can chat back to me. And so I might want to keep an eye on this as I'm presenting. Students will also have the option to raise and lower their hand. When they raise their hand, you'll get a little notification that their hand has been raised. And you can also come back to the participants panel to see who has their hand raised. So I can see right now I have my hand raised and student A has their hand raised. When you click on that same hand icon, that also lowers your hand. So your students can raise their hand and lower their hand as they need to. And you can monitor that in this participants panel. As we mentioned, students can also chat with you, so you might need to keep an eye on the chat conversation. Once I'm ready to start presenting, I might come and unmute my mic, greet my class, and start presenting. So here, because I've shared a PowerPoint, I have these different slide controls. I can go ahead and click on this to flip through my slide deck. If at any point I need to change what I'm sharing, let's say I'm done with this PowerPoint and I need to go live, I can come back to this share icon And I could pick something different to share. So maybe I want to come in here and I want to share my whole screen, or maybe I want to share a Chrome web browser tab. I can go ahead and click on what I would like to share. My Teams meeting is going to minimize, and what I'm sharing will maximize. You can always tell what you're sharing because it's going to have a red line around it. So my students can now currently see this Teams meeting option tab. Maybe I want to navigate back to Schoology and I want to demo something for them in Schoology. You'll notice as well that this little quick pane showed up here on the very right-hand corner. This will allow me to quickly mute and unmute myself, stop sharing my screen, or end the call. If I want to come back to the call and see the Teams meeting chat, I just double-click on the meeting and I will be brought back to the Teams meeting. And my screen is still sharing with my students so they can still see my screen. I can go ahead and click stop sharing to stop sharing now with my students. Before I end the meeting, I might want to download an attendance spreadsheet so I have a record of who was in this meeting with me. You will need to do this while the meeting is still active, so don't end this meeting. To download this attendance spreadsheet, we're going to go ahead and click on this show participants to bring back up this participants, and we're going to go back into the three dots where we can make changes to our permissions. You'll notice an option here to download the attendance list. Once you click on that, that will start a download, and you can go into your downloads folder on your device to see that attendance list. So here on my File Explorer, if I go into downloads, I should see my meeting attendance list. I can double click on that to open it. And I will see a list of everybody who joined my session today. I will see the date and time that they joined. Once I end this meeting and start the meeting again for the next day, I will get a fresh attendance list for that day. But you do have to remember to click that download attendance to get a copy of that attendance. Please note that right now this is just for your records. Please follow any direction the district gives you as far as marking attendance. Once I'm ready to end my meeting with my students, I could click this red hang up button. However, I don't recommend that because that can leave your students behind and they can still chat and message without your approval. To formally end the meeting and have all the students leave the meeting as well, in this same control panel here, we can click these three dots and we can click end meeting. That will formally end the meeting and everybody will be closed out. Once you end the meeting, your chat history will stay here. So if there are items that you need to revisit the next day, you can see this ongoing chat history as a wonderful record of everything you've done. In this video, we went over how to start your meeting from Schoology, how to admit students and present to students, how to monitor your students' questions, and how to formally end the meeting so no one lingers after you're done presenting. Thank you for watching.